towards the overall title. Jack, let's take a look at the weather today. It's really testing conditions out there, but nice when you're out of the water.
Well, Josh, it certainly is. We've got a top of 27 degrees today with the water temperature around that 17 or 18 degrees, which may test some of our northern competitors. The wind's up slightly, 15 to 30 kilometres an hour out of the northeast, and probably a 1.5 metre swell rolling through.
Just enough swell to smack you in the face if you end up underneath it. Let's take a look at the format, the Eliminator, one of the toughest tests in surf sports. First race will have 20 athletes. First and second will skip automatically to race 3. The bottom 6 will go home. Race 2 will have 12 athletes and you just have to finish in the top half. 6 go to the final, 6 go to the sideline. And race number 3 will have 8 girls in it. And first across the line will take 100 points, all the prize money, and the crown of being round 1 Nutri-Grain Ironwoman Series champion. Well, let's do it, Jack Hansen. The girls are on the line and set to go. Let's take a look at the start list. Harriet Brown and Brielle Cooper, of course, they'd have to be the red-hot favourites, but there is a lot of young guns that have made their mark in this series.
Well, there certainly are, Josh. On page 1, we can see there Tiani Massey, the under-19 competitor out of Maroochydore. She'll certainly be one to watch, particularly strong on the ski leg, which is quite interesting for a young competitor.
Yeah, a lot of names we've seen in the past as well. One who had a great trial earlier in the weekend, Hannah Scully from Northcliffe, so watch for her. Maddie Spencer's been there before, the defending champion Gemma Smith. She's got experience in this swell. The girls are on the line, set to go. It's swim, board, ski, the order, and already the girls have decided to run all the way up into that northernmost corner, the right-hand side as you look. And Jack, talk us through that. There is a rip running out across the rocks, and they're going to try and get as close to that rocks and as deep into that rip as they possibly can, especially in the swim.
Well, on the northern end of Queenscliff Beach, particularly when there's a bit of swell, there is a permanent rip that runs off the rocks, Josh, and we can see the girls on the top end of screen. They are the ones that are going to move the fastest out through this break because that water is sucking out off the edge of the rocks.
And have a look how close some of those girls are. I think it's Harriet Brown there in the Northcliffe cap, white with the maroon star. She was almost on top of that rock there as she went through. Unbelievable. Of course, the girls in pink, they've had to qualify through the trials earlier in the weekend. The girls in the blue, they're our automatic qualifiers. They're the favourites and they're the ones everyone are expecting to go really well. But at the moment, Naomi Scott in the light blue cap from the Manly Club just down the road. She's got local experience. She's one of the best swimmers in the country and she's already a full body length out in front.
Well, Josh, the same stretch of beach for Naomi Scott with Manly being on the southern end of this stretch is certainly a huge advantage. She knows the conditions. She's spent time in this water, and for Naomi Scott, that's got her off to a fantastic start.
You can see Georgia Miller right at the bottom. Another one of these girls. She lives, well, used to live just around the corner at Freshwater, now at the Northcliffe Club. Harriet Brown going up alongside her. So at the moment, some of the heavy favourites are doing a very, very good job. And Georgia Miller, fresh off her win in the Coolangatta Gold, we know she's going to go all day long, and she's probably going to get better as these 3 races go on.
She certainly will, Josh. She would have done a huge preparation to win that Coolangatta Gold, and a fantastic effort there from Georgia Miller, being able to back up from a year before where she hit the wall and ended up off the podium.
Yeah, she was leading with, maybe a kilometre to go, got run down, but not this year. She came back, fixed her problems and won the title, and she's now in the lead of this race. And of course, the eliminator format, you've got to stay out of the bottom 6. That is the red zone. But in this first race, if you finish first or second, you automatically skip round 2 and go through to the final. And Jack, we've seen in the past just how important that is, haven't we?
Well, Josh, it's reward for effort. You put the work in, you get yourself off to a great start, and that allows you to rest in round 2 while the other girls go and repeat exactly the same race they've done in round 1 and will have to do again in race 3.
And statistically, we saw last season, if you skip that second round, you automatically almost get on the podium. Nobody's ever missed the podium after finishing first and second in that first race. So as they make their way in, it's Georgia Miller in 1. It's Naomi Scott in 2, Harriet Brown in 3, Courtney Hancock in 4, Lana Rogers in 5, and Brielle Cooper in 6. So in that top 6, 5 of those girls are the pre-qualifiers from last season. There's a little wave on offer here. Let's see who picks this one up. Naomi Scott, Georgia Miller, side by side. They go down that. It's going to come down to surf skills. Scott gets shot out the back. Georgia Miller's got the skills, and that is a ticket to ride.
Well, it certainly is, Josh. Georgia Miller, great skills. What Georgia did there was come down the face with the whitewater. Naomi took the drop a lot earlier and got eaten up by the whitewater, meaning she came out the back.
Oh, look at that. Perfect stuff. For all the kids watching at home there, nice long body line there. Breathes under the arm, only looks up when she has to. And that lead of, well, 5 metres over the rest of the field has turned into well over 50. And that's setting this first race up for Georgia Miller, who looks in absolute red-hot form. Throws the goggles to her handler, goes up and through transition and heads into the board leg now, looking very, very comfortable this early on. And what a way to start this one from Georgia Miller. We'll have a look at the fallout of the girls in second and third place, because Naomi Scott, I would have thought she'd have better skills to hold on to that one. But have a look at how big the lead is now. Scott and Harriet Brown out in second and third.
Well, these girls are going to be chasing Georgia Miller hard, who is going to be very hard to catch, Josh. We spoke about her Coolangatta Gold, and coming off the back of that, Georgia Miller is going to be fitter than absolutely anyone else in this field.
Yeah, Harriet Brown works her way through the defending world champion. Naomi Scott strong. Courtney Hancock, she'll come round in fourth. Lana Rogers in fifth, then back to Jordan Mercer, her Noosa teammate, in sixth. Brielle Cooper's there in seventh as well, and they work their way through transition. Harriet Brown, you can see already the look on her face. They're a little bit tired after just one leg, and they've got a lot of races to go. So after that, it's Maddie Spencer, Tian Raymond, Carly Nerthen, Emma Dick, Maddie Dunn. There is Brielle Cooper and Lizzie Wellborn. They're a long way down. Kirsty Higginson, Gemma Smith, Emily Doyle, Electra Outram, Danielle McKenzie. Watch for her to work her way through. She's one of the best ski and board paddlers in this field. Hannah Scully, Tiani Massey. They're a long way out of this, and they're definitely in the red zone at the moment. Maddie Dunn is a long way down as well, so she's going to really need to get her act together if she wants to get back into this race.
Well, Hannah Scully will be one looking to make a big move up through the pack here, Josh. She is a fantastic young board paddler out of the Northcliffe Club, and with a lot of work to do here, she'll be looking to go to her strengths.
We'll take a look at the red zone after the swim leg there. That's the girls who are set to be eliminated if we stop the race right now. Gemma Smith, our defending race champion. Emily Doyle, just a young gun in her first race. Electra Outram finished 19th in the series last year. Danielle McKenzie, one of the best board and ski paddlers. Hannah Scully and Massey, two of the young guns. Scully on debut. She smashed the trial earlier in the weekend right here, so I was expecting more from her, but it's still only early days. The swim is definitely her worst leg.
Yeah, it certainly is. And she'll be, as we said, looking to make a big move now and get herself up and out of that red zone.
These girls just getting smashed a little bit. Couples starting to sneak out at the moment, but out the back there's a huge wave. Everyone else is going to get cleaned up. Georgia Miller might get down, and she pushes. The bottom falls out of it, and she goes down that one. And, well, with a little bit of hard work, you get a bit of luck. And our defending champ, Brielle Cooper's been belted by that very same wave. And what was good for Georgia Miller is terrible for the rest of the field, as you can see them all sitting back, popping up and over. But it's perfect for our back markers, because that will really concertina the field.
Well, it certainly is, Josh. That's going to line up the whole group, that chase pack that are trying to stay out of the bottom six. And as they're making their way around the cans, a new look Georgia Miller in the Northcliffe cap has absolutely obliterated everyone.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Formerly of the Freshwater Club, she moved to Newport, had a couple of seasons under the Newport cap, and has now moved to the Gold Coast in the off-season to train with Naomi Flood. And with a win in the Coolangatta Gold and the kind of form she looks like she's in at the moment, it looks like being the right move.
Well, it certainly does. Oh. Georgia Miller is in great form as the girls get a little bit argy-bargy around that first board turning can. So a lot of work to do from our chase pack as Georgia Miller starts to head into her ski leg.
Ski last leg, very, very tough here. The girls will be tired, and the race for second place in that second automatic qualifying spot starting to heat up. Harriet Brown just in front of Naomi Scott. And Scott's only young. She's, still 18 years of age, but she's definitely one of the best in the business. She's been around for a very long time. She's trying to hang on as Harriet Brown just takes a rest on that wave. I saw Lizzie Wellborn in the background, one of the best board paddlers in the world, so she's made her move, and it'll be interesting to see how those sets have shaken things up. The wave's on. Scully gets down one as well. Oh, sideways. Lana Rogers has gone sideways and missed it. A couple of the girls went off the back. So Carly Nerthen's there. Higginson, Scully as well. Mercer's on that one. Courtney Hancock, Doyle as well. So very, very strong. Maddie Spencer might be there as well as Harriet Brown goes through transition and into the final leg. And this looks like being the race for second place and the opportunity to skip through. Lizzie Wellborn's on that front wave as well. And It looks like the rest of the field, you could throw a blanket over them there because they're on 3 waves and nobody's out of this. With swell this big and the situation being what it is, you get smacked on this ski or you lose it on the way home and you can go into the red zone almost automatically.
Well, there is a huge chase pack coming, Josh. At the moment, these girls are safe, but they've still got plenty of work to do. That's our top 10. So Maddie Dunn sitting in 10th place, and here come the chasers.
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting. Rogers, Massey there, Scully, Brielle Cooper's in the red zone at the moment. Look at Emma Dick run hard on the front of that one, and you can see Cooper in the blue, Danielle McKenzie and Electra Outram. They are the last 2 to go through transition, and they really need to get moving here. Outram's still one of the youngest in the field. She's had experience in the past, but she's going to really have to have the ski leg of her life to survive here. We're riding on with Gemma Smith. She's in the Australian Junior Kayak team, so you'd expect her to be a big mover here if she wants to keep this title. Alongside her, another one of those kayak team members in Tiani Massey. But have a look at Georgia Miller and how far she is in front. This will give us a great idea. She's working her way in from the outside cans. Of course, the ski leg, that's the longest cans out to sea. The board leg is those grey cans, and the swim is the white cans. That will be all day long. And you can see her, she's just resting, taking it easy. I'd expect her to let a few of these waves go through, and she is just going to relax and enjoy the show for the rest of the day because she will almost certainly go through to race 3.
Well, what this does is allow Georgia Miller an opportunity to control her breathing and just relax. We see Harriet Brown making her way out to the first can now. Georgia Miller sits back. She wants to pick up a little bubble, which is exactly what she does, that she can hold through to the beach comfortably.
Let that first wave go, and then sits on this one, and she's just going to work all the way home. She puts the power down. There's a little wave behind her, but I don't think she'll have any trouble. But this is where it gets interesting. Outram's in the back part. Maddie Spencer's there as well. Danielle McKenzie's got work to do. As we take a look at the girls here in the middle of the pack, Brielle Cooper might have an issue. Tiani Massey's there, so this is going to be very tight. I can see Lana Rogers, Brielle Cooper and Courtney Hancock there sitting right on the edge of that red zone. One mistake and those girls will go out. Emma Dick's there as well. Gemma Smith, I think they're in at the moment, but if they let 1 or 2 past them, they'll be in the bottom 6. Georgia Miller gets the win. First Ocean 6 Nutri-Grain Ironwoman Series race of the day, and she gets a very, very easy win. And, well, she's all smiles as she gets up. A little stumble there, it won't matter. Hands off the ski to boyfriend and Olympian Riley Fitzsimmons, and high fives and drink bottles all around. You can see Coach Naomi Flood just giving her the little message there, telling her to hurry up because the quicker she crosses the line, there's going to be a 3-minute break until race 2 starts, and that'll put the pressure on the girls at the back. And Jack, this is where it's going to start to get hectic. The girls are coming home. There's waves on out the back. It looks like Harriet Brown's going to take that second qualifying spot, so the defending world champion will have no problems at all. But out the back here, as we see they're coming down, one goes off. Carly Nerthen goes off, so she's out of a wave there as the drone flew over the top. Carly Nerthen was swimming. There's waves on here if these girls can hold them, but they're very, very big. Carly Nerthen's gone sideways again, and she's going to have to roll off that one, so this is drama aplenty. Lizzie Wellborn's gone sideways as well, so that's not what you want. Somebody's facing back out to sea. Emma Dick, that is issues for them. No problems at all for Emily Doyle, one of the young guns. She has done a really, really good job in her first race there, and this is the red zone here, so this is the race to qualify. We see the girls coming in. Only 2 will get through, while they're going to go past Carly Nerthen as well, so maybe 3 of these girls will qualify through the rounds. We can see Naomi Scott's across the line. As the girls get up, they're going to have to sprint for this one here. Hannah Scully's up, Brielle Cooper's up as well, Tian Raymond, Lana Rogers, Danielle McKenzie. They go up and around. It looks like Hannah Scully will get there, no dramas. Brielle Cooper, but this is the race. Tian Raymond, Danielle McKenzie. Danielle McKenzie gets there, and I think Tian Raymond's missed out. So's Electra Outram. Emma Dick, after falling off her ski, she is gone as well. Maddie Spencer, Tian Massey, and Carly Nerthen has gone from 6th to last thanks to slewing a wave.
Well, a little mistake there from Carly Nerthen put her well into well out, and Carly Nerthen crosses the line in 20th place. She'll be filthy at herself as we see her down on all fours, having a rest, sucking in the big ones and counting what could have been.
Georgia Miller and Harriet Brown skip immediately through to race 3. Then we have, well, 12 girls who'll have to race almost immediately. Scott, Higginson, Smith, Mercer, Dunn, and Doyle, Wellborn, Rogers, Hancock, Scully, Brielle Cooper and Danielle McKenzie had to sprint for the line. Tian Raymond misses out in a sprint finish. Electra Outram, Emma Dick with a 17th place after slewing her ski. Maddie Spencer Tiani Massey, and well, mistakes have cost Carly Northern. She will be back bigger and better than ever.
Hey, it's amazing, the subtle games that you are playing, and you don't even know I exist, but you have got me on your hit list, and you're conspiring, girl, you are sexual and bad, and now you got this on your conscience. Now I'm unresponsive. Oh, but call your mama, tell her you love her. This might be it for you. Run through the fire, I'd walk the wire. I would sell everything I own. I'd swim the ocean, dance with the devil. I'd sell my soul to take you home.
What an opening round of the Nutri-Grain Ironwoman series. Georgia Miller was unstoppable in race one, along with Harriet Brown, qualifying straight through to the final. And we said goodbye to Raymond, Outram, Dick, Spencer, Massey and Carly Northern. They finished in the red zone and they will watch the rest of the day from the sideline. Let's take a look at the start list for race number 2. We've got 12 girls, Jack, and only 6 of them will survive.
Well, Josh, we'll be looking at the red zone again, but we'll be looking at the front of the race to see who can get themselves out in front and try and conserve as much energy as possible while Harriet Brown and Georgia Miller sit on the beach and watch this one.
Is it too early to start talking about title chances? Because this is a couple of the girls here we see, well, at least 3 of them in those blue cozies. They're our pre-qualified athletes, and they're the ones that are trying to win the overall series title here. We've got the defending champion in Brielle Cooper in this race as well, but if you cop a 14th early on, that's almost your throwaway result for this summer and puts a lot of pressure on for the rest of the year.
Well, it certainly will be, and you'll be looking to try and finish as high up as possible, and a 14th, Josh, will mean that you would have to do extremely well in the next 5 rounds to be any shot at the overall championship.
Board, ski, swim is the order, but in saying that, last season our champion there in Brielle Cooper didn't get a point in round 1, so she had to have every other round qualify for her summer. Oh, there's a little way for Naomi Scott on the right-hand side, smashes her. Jordan Mercer's going backwards. Spent a bit of time in California in the last couple of weeks at the Pacific Paddle Games doing stand-up paddleboarding, and at the moment she's doing a lot of standing up and not a whole lot of paddleboarding.
Oh, absolutely. And Geordie Mercer getting stuck. Not something we see very often from Geordie Mercer, struggling through the wave zone there. And the girls probably a little bit lazy, didn't tend to go as far north as what they did in their first race. And that's allowed them to be hit by more swell instead of the girls that went further up, the likes of Kirsty Higginson and Brielle Cooper, who used the rip and have now gone to the front.
It's just a soft option, isn't it? You know that you've got to run as far up into the rip, but you get a little bit tired, you get a little bit, well, complacent. Oh, I'll go close. Close isn't good enough in conditions like this. Kirsty Higginson ran right up into the rip, and that's why she's in the lead here at the moment from Surfers Paradise. The girl from down the south coast of New South Wales, now training with the likes of Ali Day up there on the Gold Coast, and it's been a massive move for her. She is in career best form at the moment and leading this second race ahead of Brielle Cooper. Naomi Scott's in 3rd, Lizzie Wellborn's in 4th. Maddie Dunn is in 5th as they go round. Then it's a bit of a logjam there. Lana Rogers is in with a bit of a battle. Gemma Smith as well. A long way down for Courtney Hancock. And then you can see the rest of the field all strung out. Hannah Scully, Jordan Mercer, they were smacked by those waves. And they're almost out of this race immediately.
Well, a wave and a run for our leaders, Josh. And I don't think any of the girls will get down it, but the next one they may. I've been very impressed by Naomi Scott so far in the start. She's kicked off this second race where where she left off. She led off the beach and unfortunately got clipped by a couple of waves there that held her back and have kept her back in the pack, but she's managed to continue to work her way through.
They're going to get this one. A couple will get this one from behind as well. Geordie Mercer gets it all the way through. Huge board skills. Kirsty Higginson misses it. So does Lizzie Wellborn. What about that from Gemma Smith and Geordie Mercer? They went from 6th and 7th all the way through to the front of this race. Unbelievable from those two. So we've got on that front wave, Geordie Mercer on the right-hand side, Naomi Scott in the centre there, Gemma Smith as well, and Lana Rogers on the outside. So the two Noosa girls are there, and it's a Noosa sandwich at the moment for the ones in the middle. As they make their way in, they will head into the ski, and what a comeback from Geordie Mercer. That is a great board leg, and that's why she's won the Nutri-Grain Ironwoman series in the past.
Well, Lana Rogers, currently our Australian Ironwoman champion, leading this race around. She was in great form towards the back end of our season and leads this one through going into the ski leg.
She won the last round at North Cronulla, then straight into an Aussie title. Unbelievable. This is your top 6. So one of these girls is currently in the red zone. It's Higginson, Lizzie Wellborn, and then Brielle Cooper running around. Maddie Dunn is out at the moment. So's Courtney Hancock. So's Emily Doyle. And then in last place, Danielle McKenzie trying to stay alive in this race. But these girls are doing it tough. And we can see once again, Gemma Smith not exactly getting into the rip. Geordie Mercer has almost gone straight in from where her ski was on the line. And you can see her looking around. And, I thought Danielle McKenzie was last. But Hannah Scully, she is a long, long way down.
Well, Hannah Scully out the back door at this stage. Naomi Scott is the one competitor that's headed north. She's headed up into the rip, and she's going to try to use it to give her an advantage, sneaking through these waves as we see Lana Rogers gets hit, Gemma Smith gets hit, and Naomi Scott slides straight through.
That is a perfect example. We were just talking about it then. A little bit of deeper water. It's running out to sea. It doesn't stand up on the bank as much, and Naomi Scott shoots out at the moment. Kirsty Higginson and Lizzie Wellborn have done the same at the top side there. They've gone up into 4th and 5th place, and just running that extra 2 metres, Jack, can make a giant difference.
Josh, it's not always about who's the fastest, but who's the smartest racer. At the moment, Naomi Scott is by far the smartest girl in this field.
Yeah, she's been doing it every start so far, and she leads this one from the Australian champion, and then the former Nutri-Grain Ironwoman Series champion, Lana Rogers, and then Jordan Mercer. Lizzie Wellborn on the yellow ski. Kirsty Higginson just off to the side of her. Gemma Smith on the pink as well. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your top 6. Everyone behind them is out at the moment, and it looks like Courtney Hancock sitting in 7th, trying to survive and trying to keep her series hopes alive. But there's at least a ski length gap between that top 6 and the bottom 6.
Naomi Scott breathing quite heavy now. I think she's just trying to relax a little bit, trying to control it, sitting on top of the ski. It's a lot easier just to get those big breaths in and allow the blood to flow around the body.
Jordan Mercer there sitting very comfortably. She takes the inside run alongside training partner Lana Rogers. Have a look at Lizzie Wellborn come through. They go side by side, around the turning can there. So things get interesting for Geordie Mercer and Lizzie Wellborn. Naomi Scott, we can see her just tacking across. Look out the back. There is a wave on. These girls, if they want it, they can get it. Jordan Mercer's going to go. There's no doubt about that. Lana Rogers has cut across to the right-hand side. Lizzie Wellborn's thought better of it. She's going to come down over the top. Just taps Naomi Scott on the head. So that could have been dangerous. The two Noosa girls have gone it. Lizzie Wellborn and Naomi Scott have sat off the back of it. And Jack, I thought for a second there as Rogers goes over, she's got an extra swim leg. That's not what you want. And Jordan Mercer's on the front. We have had it all in this ski leg so far.
Well, Naomi Scott, she's picked up a little wave beside Lizzie Wellborn here. Now she needs to keep it straight. She's gone sideways, Josh. So Naomi Scott, she was our leader early on, is now in trouble.
Skills are so important. Danielle McKenzie puts the head down. You can see the focus and the contradiction there from Naomi Scott. It was just a little relaxed, and Danielle McKenzie much more intense, and she stayed straight, and Scott's gone swimming, and Jordan Mercer, you can see her run, and we're going to find out just how much swimming work she's done in the off-season here, because she has a big lead, but the swim has never been her strong suit.
Well, she's got plenty of room, but there is plenty of quality swimmers chasing behind. Maddie Dunn is there. She was last year's Ocean6 surf race champion. The other one that's there, the young gun, the swimming sensation from Newport, Emily Doyle, is also chasing.
Brielle Cooper up the beach, Danielle McKenzie as well. So they're sitting pretty at the moment. 4 through, another 2 in the safe zone, and that is Maddie Dunn and Kirsty Higginson. Courtney Hancock is in 7th place. So this is where the red zone begins. Hancock in the blue. Emily Doyle, she's the one you spoke about. She's a great swimmer. Naomi Scott as well. She can swim with the best of them. Hannah Scully's getting herself back into this race in a fantastic ski leg. And then we're still waiting on a couple more. Lizzie Wellborn went off, and that's not what she wanted. Lana Rogers, she slewed her ski after going into the lead, and they're a long way down. So it seems like, Jack, to me, the swimmers are in the bottom half of the field, the craft competitors are in the top half, and things are going to get very, very interesting as we look at Jordan Mercer waking her way out.
Well, we saw a huge mistake from Carly Nerthen in race 1. She went from in the top 6 to out the back and finished last. Lana Rogers has done exactly the same thing. She slewed her ski. She made a big mistake and now is at the back of the red zone and currently in 12th place. But the girls are gone up and using the rip. We can see them using that suck out while Jordan Mercer's come across a fair bit earlier.
Have a look at how quick that rip is running out at the moment. That gap was at least 150 metres going into the water, and it's now been cut, well, I'd say more than in half. It's probably down to 50 odd metres at the moment. The girls are staying in that rip for a long time while Mercer's opted out of it, and she's swimming straight across to the 2 white turning cans, and the waves are still coming through, and that's going to slow her down as well because they're coming through a lot harder on the bank. And the girls are, well, they're equal with Mercer at the moment, but they've got a lot longer to swim back to that first turning can. I think Mercer might have just jumped out of that rip a little bit too early, and it's mistakes like that, and that'll cost you in the end. And you'd think Mercer would have a little bit more experience, and she'd want to make that swim leg as easy as possible on the way out here. It looks like Gemma Smith is in 2nd place working hard. Courtney Hancock has maybe worked her way up into 3rd at the moment, and Brielle Cooper's there right alongside her. So these girls pushing very hard to get inside the top 6 and stay there and be alive in race 3.
Well, another wave rolling through on top of Mercer there. So we've seen the girls once again go more than half that gap that you spoke about earlier, Josh, and are now going to sit on the feet of Jordan Mercer. Gemma Smith has pegged back more than 100 metres on Jordan Mercer to pick her up, and it's all by racing smart. Jordan Mercer went into the wave zone. Gemma Smith went down to the rip, and have a look how close this race has become.
Oh, this is going to get very, very interesting throughout the race. At the moment, it's Jordan Mercer, Gemma Smith in 2nd place, Maddie Dunn in 3rd, Brielle Cooper's worked her way into 4th place, Courtney Hancock right on her heels, Kirsty Higginson sitting in 6th at the moment, and Danielle McKenzie's in 7th, right on the tail, hanging on, and there's a huge gap back to the bottom 5, and well, they're going to need a wave in this final leg because the race is on at the moment. 7 girls into 6 places doesn't go in that front group, and it's starting to get very, very critical for some of these girls in the back half.
Well, that's exactly it, Josh. We're looking for our top 6. Still Jordan Mercer out in front, leading the way. Gemma Smith sitting on her feet, sitting there comfortably, just doing the job, managing to get through. Maddie Dunn, a huge swim, has put herself back up into the top 3 with Brielle Cooper sitting on her hammer, chasing as the girls start to line back up. Jordan Mercer starting to move backwards as Gemma Smith and Maddie Dunn go to the front.
Maddie Dunn, the white cap maroon star in the centre. On the right-hand side, Brielle Cooper swimming her way through as well. Gemma Smith just goes past Mercer. There's a few lumps out in the ocean. That's your top 4. Courtney Hancock in the 2nd line on her own in 5th place there. 6th is Higginson to the left, and on the right is Danielle McKenzie, who is out of it at the moment. There's a wave on for the right-hand side, and Brielle Cooper and Maddie Dunn will pick that one up. Cooper falls off the back. Dunn manages to hold on. A wave out the back. It's going to wash through the field. I think Danielle McKenzie just ducked underneath that one there, so not what you want. There's waves on out the back for a few of the other competitors. Will this shake things up? Maddie Dunn, no problems at all in the lead. Very, very solid swim from her. She pushed her way through the field there, and she'll be able to walk her way across the line. Here comes, I think, Kirsty Higginson. So Higginson's got a wave from 6th place into 2nd, and that will earn her a place up into the final. So what a swim from Kirsty Higginson like that. Maddie Dunn's just going to relax. Higginson there as well, but what we're really worried about is further back in the field. 6 will survive, 6 will go home. Gemma Smith standing up, so's Jordan Mercer. No problems at all. These girls will go up and through transition and across the line. Dunn in 1. Higginson in 2. We're just chasing 6 places through to the final. Brielle Cooper, she managed to get another wave after that first one there. She'll get through in 3. 3 down, 3 to go. Here comes the sprint up the beach. Gemma Smith looks like she'll be in there. Danny McKenzie, Courtney Hancock, we didn't see them, and this is the race for 6th place. One will miss out. Jordan Mercer's trying to come over the top, and she can't. She will be cut from the eliminator. Gemma Smith survives, keeps back-to-back race titles, hopes alive, and after leading that race until the final leg, Jordan Mercer will not be in our final. Lizzie Wellborn will not be in our final either. We say goodbye to Naomi Scott. She did so well early on, and a bit of bad luck will cost her there. Emily Doyle, Lana Rogers, and Hannah Scully as well. They will go home. Jack Hansen, drama aplenty after race 2.
Well, going into that final swim leg, Jordan Mercer looked home for all money, 100-metre lead, and the girls pulled her back. She didn't race smart, and a run up the beach with Gemma Smith goes to show that Gemma Smith is extremely quick. That is 2 from 2 in races and sprints up the beach here at Queenscliff, with Gemma Smith taking the win last year in round 1 over Georgia Miller, and now taking the scalp of Jordan Mercer.
Well, smiles all round for Lana Rogers with a 13th place, and Hannah Scully finishes in 14th in her first ever race. She's a name for the future. Watch for her, and what a debut. Dunn, Higginson, Cooper, McKenzie, Hancock and Smith will join Miller and Brown in our 8-woman Nutri-Grain Ironwoman Series final. But first, let's take a look at the highlights from that last race. And, well, it was all about skill, Jack. If you go out in the right places and come back on the right waves, you will go a long way towards winning this race today and taking home the Eliminator crown, and a little bump on the head as well.
Not just a bump, Josh. That was a pretty solid hit there from Lizzie Wellborn on the head of Naomi Scott.
Naomi Scott didn't survive that one, and that proved the difference. Gemma Smith got in. Jordan Mercer goes home, and let's take a look at the start list. The world champion, Harriet Brown. The defending series champion, Brielle Cooper. The best swimmer in the country, Maddie Dunn. Queen of surf sports, Hancock. Kirsty Higginson has finished 2nd in the series. Danielle McKenzie's the world ski race champion. Georgia Miller, the Coolangatta gold champion. And Gemma Smith is the defending champion. The girls are on the line for the final. Don't worry about the red zone. This is all about finishing number 1. They're set. Ski, swim, board is the order. Run down to the rip is the only advice from the coaches heading into this final one. They're off and away, and almost immediately the girls take a left-hand turn, and Harriet Brown and Georgia Miller, they will have rested up that entire second race, and you can already see a little spark in their step compared to the rest of the girls. And tell us about the advantage of sitting out while the rest of the field does a 15-minute Ironwoman.
Well, Georgia Miller on the good end of the line. She should be fresh. Fresh legs will allow Georgia Miller to get that ski start off the beach extremely quick. Brielle Cooper, she's run the furthest left at this stage, but she's stuck at the back, and that reason is because she waited off the gun and had further to run.
Kirsty Higginson goes to the lead. She's a great ski paddler, and she's right in the rip as well. And oh, Gemma Smith rolls off there. That wasn't planned, and you can see how much water movement there is at the moment and how close they are to the rocks. The best seat in the house for a couple of those spectators up there. And just like that, Georgia Miller and Kirsty Higginson sneak out in 1 and 2. Harriet Brown's in 3. Maddie Dunn in 4. Courtney Hancock and Danielle McKenzie 5 and 6. Brielle Cooper trying to get back across in 7 at the moment, and Gemma Smith is a long way down in 8 after falling off. And is that her chances of going back-to-back out the window? Because we know one mistake and it can be all over Red Rover, and Georgia Miller looks really, really good.
Well, look at the rating, Josh. The rating's up, the speed and the intensity is up, and Georgia Miller is absolutely flying. She knows she can hurt these girls in the first leg. She knows she can get away because she is fresh. She's had an extra 15 to 18 minutes of rest for Georgia Miller, while these other girls went toe-to-toe going around the cans once again. Harriet Brown is exactly the same, currently sitting in 3rd place. She'll be looking to make a big move, probably towards the back end once she gets into her strength, which is the swim and board.
There's a little run here for Miller as well. Brielle Cooper not looking comfortable, that's for sure. Miller gets a run just behind her. Higginson and Brown get one as well. Maddie Dunn's got a small one, and Gemma Smith, she's got to get herself back into this race somehow. The girls are cutting a long way back across. They're trying to find the bank, that area where the water's just a little bit more shallower, the waves stand up a little bit bigger, and Georgia Miller has done exactly that. That little bump has turned into a solid little wave, and if she can push down over the top of this one, she is going to have a big lead early on. But our back markers, second, third, and fourth, look like they've found a wave as well. But Georgia Miller, she's the most rested, she's got the best endurance, and she's looking the most comfortable early on in this race. You'd have to say she's the red-hot favourite. Dunn, Brown, and Higginson, who just falls off the back of that one. They're in second, third, so Brown and Dunn, and it's an all Northcliffe trio, 1, 2, and 3.
Well, from this point, Josh, I'll go as far to say that no one will beat Georgia Miller here. We know she is super fit. She's going into her favoured leg, the swim, followed by a board of which she was very close to winning the Ocean6 overall series last year, and there is no way anyone can continue to go with her.
Maddie Dunn goes with the two girls who missed race 2, and Dunn must be hurting at the moment because she's had to do that extra round. Higginson is in 4th place, Danielle McKenzie in 5th, Brielle Cooper in 6th. Then side by side on the way in, it is Gemma Smith there and Courtney Hancock as well. And Gemma Smith's got a lot of work to do. That was probably her best leg, and once that one goes out the window, it's a tough day at the office. Brielle Cooper works her way in, Hancock in 7th, and Smith in 8th. They'll head into the swim, and Miller immediately to the front, immediately in the rip. Harriet Brown on her heels, and Maddie Dunn struggling to hang on at the moment. A big gap back to Higginson in 4th.
Well, these girls, the two in the lead, the two in the blue, Harriet Brown and Georgia Miller, they've gone to the rip. They would have watched the mistakes Jordan Mercer made in the lead in race 2, and we've made sure that they will not make the same.
Yeah, that's one of the more interesting parts about sitting it out as well. Not only do you get the rest, you get to watch everybody else go. You get to watch where they go, how they get out. And Georgia Miller just pushing out of that rip ever so slightly. Harriet Brown and Maddie Dunn deciding to stay in it, but Georgia Miller, former member of the Australian junior swim team, probably a stronger swimmer than Jordan Mercer, can probably push through that, well, that normal water a little bit easier there, and probably doesn't pay the price as much as Jordan Mercer does. But Brown does the right thing and stays in it just a little bit longer, and it pays off ever so slightly, but Georgia Miller still clings to the lead.
Well, we'll probably end up in the same position as they swam out in the rip in a group. It's Georgia Miller still going to sit in one on the inside of this first swim turning cam, but waves rolling throughout the back, Josh, could make it interesting for these girls. Who does the right thing? And it's Georgia Miller who holds that breath. She works underwater, and her underwater work with her pool swimming background will certainly be better than anyone else.
Yeah, you can see there, she just shot another body length in front going underneath these waves. Another one there, they'll dive deep underneath it, kick hard up the top, and you can see the urgency of Georgia Miller when she comes up. She's immediately back into her stroke. She gets that 6-beat kick going. Look at her feet compared to the girls in 2nd and 3rd. They're just not working as hard in 2nd and 3rd. Miller is really turning the screws on the rest of the field at the moment. Harriet Brown's hanging on in 2nd place. Maddie Dunn is doing everything she can to stay in touch at the moment, and that's a very long swim out to the first turning can, and the longer this goes on, the better Harriet Brown and Georgia Miller are going to feel compared to the rest of the field.
Well, Maddie Dunn is doing a fantastic job to hang on here. She's raced race 1. She's raced race 2. She won race 2, and now backing up and sitting top 3 in race 3. Maddie Dunn is going with these girls, and probably the only girl in the field who can do so, being the Ocean6 surf race champion.
Just turning the far can at the moment. Kirsty Higginson is right around that one, but a long way down. Brielle Cooper's there as well. Danielle McKenzie, Hancock and Smith are still working their way out through the rip, and they're going to need waves on the way home. And we've seen it in the last 2 races, the standings going into the swim and going out of the swim being very different thanks to this Queenscliff back bank that really throws up some big sets. And as we look out to sea, there's some waves coming through. We might get one off the cans here, so these back markers, I don't think it'll stand up. I just think they're too far in, but our leaders are going to get picked up. Georgia Miller tries to go down this first one. The one out the back, Maddie Dunn, she swims across. She gets it, no problems at all. So does Harriet Brown. Georgia Miller gets swallowed up, and does she hold on to it? I don't know. No, she gets shot out the back. So Maddie Dunn and Harriet Brown have picked that one up, and they both get thrown off at the moment, but they couldn't hold it all the way to the beach. Jack, I expected better skills, especially from Maddie Dunn.
Well, Josh, what I saw just then was Maddie Dunn sit and wait for that that wave. And if you watch closely in race 2, she took 2 strokes to her left, which put her on the wave body surfing, which meant she won the race in race 2. Her surf skills are extremely good. Didn't hold that wave through, no, but she made sure she was on it.
Yeah, she was, and they get another little one there. So just like that, Georgia Miller goes from being the unbackable favourite to in 3rd place, and a hell of a lot of work to do on the way home. And maybe now it's advantage. Harriet Brown, the world board race champion, goes into the lead. Maddie Dunn, she can paddle a board and she's as tough as nails, but she's had to do that extra race and she just won't go away. That's the problem for these girls who sat out race 2 in Harriet Brown and Georgia Miller. Maddie Dunn, she's gotten into a groove and it looks like she is right into the swing of things as the 2 Northcliffe girls pick up their boards and go in, and Georgia Miller is a long way down now. That's probably a 60 or 70 metre gap back to 1st and 2nd. And we spoke about the waves turning things on their head. It happened there in the final.
Well, Maddie Dunn, Josh, just keeps going and going and going. Is there anything that they can do to stop her? Absolutely not, because she is unstoppable.
With 1 leg to go, Higginson in 4th place. She takes a look out to sea. She can see where the leaders are there, and Maddie Dunn jumps way deeper into the rip than Harriet Brown. How will that pay off? There's only a metre or so between them, but in surf world, that's a massive difference. Brielle Cooper in 5th place going around, and you can see Brown starts to push across and alongside Maddie Dunn. These 2 know each other very well. They train together day in, day out. Gemma Smith swum her way up into 6th place going through. Courtney Hancock, Danielle McKenzie a long way down, and we'll talk about Northcliffe. What about this 5 in the final? Unbelievable from coach Naomi Flood. She's done a great job, and they're in 1st and 2nd at the moment, and it's been very, very impressive from the Northcliffe club.
Well, their success, Josh, based off a great recruitment program, is certainly working.
Yeah, it is. The girls come round. Courtney Hancock, Danielle McKenzie as well. They'll head into the final leg, and this is it. It starts to get interesting. I don't know if these 2 can win the day as we look out to sea. Georgia Miller chasing hard, head down, really focused on getting through this break without any hassles. And our 2 leaders out in front, Harriet Brown in 1st, Maddie Dunn in 2nd, Georgia Miller in 3rd, Kirsty Higginson in 4th, Gemma Smith in 5th, Hancock and Danielle McKenzie in 7 and 8 at the moment. Plenty of work to do for the back markers as they make their way into the turning can, and we're almost home. Race 1 of the Nutri-Grain Ironwoman series for summer 2018-2019 is coming to a head, and at the moment it's a match race. Maddie Dunn and Harriet Brown, they're pushing their way along, and Dunn just has a little rest on the runner. And Georgia Miller, she's close, Jack, but I don't know if she's close enough.
Well, Georgia Miller a little bit out of luck in that wave zone in the swim leg, and now is caught out the back, but may have the opportunity to get a wave as a couple of sets roll through. Can Georgia Miller get around the can and pick up this one? I think she will, Josh.
Oh, she's going to have to go. She's going to have to push. She pushes sideways across it. She's going to have to come down, and Georgia Miller picks it up. She's going to come back into this race, and after the unlucky wave in the swim, she gets the luck in the board, and we are set for a sprint finish for round 1 of the Ocean6 Nutri-Grain Ironwoman series. What about that? Harriet Brown on the left, Maddie Dunn in the centre, Georgia Miller on the far right, all Northcliffe caps, and it's going to come down to a sprint finish. Who do you like, Jack?
Well, Josh, the girls are trying to make their move north at the moment to line themselves best up with this finish shoot, and I think at this stage the long legs of Harriet Brown might get the job done.
Well, here we go. The girls put the power down. Dunn's the first up, Miller alongside her. Harriet Brown's been left for pace at the moment. Dunn's going to get it. She had to do it the hard way. She went the entire race. She's going to get there. Salutes the crowd. Round 1 winner, Maddie Dunn, is unstoppable. Harriet Brown and Georgia Miller finish in 2nd and 3rd, and you can't wipe the smile off Maddie Dunn's face. She did it the hard way, but Maddie Dunn got it done.
Well, the paps come from everywhere to get a shot of our winner, and Maddie Dunn is stoked to take the win in not only race 3, but also taking the win in race 2.
Oh, there's white caps with maroon stars everywhere. Northcliffe 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Big high five for Kirsty Higginson and Surfers Paradise. She's happy with that one after a tough season last year. She's back where she belongs, just off the podium, and that is a keeper race for Kirsty Higginson there in 4th place. A great performance from her. She'll be very, very happy with that. Our defending champion, Brielle Cooper, we spoke to her before the race, and she was just looking to get points from round 1. So a top 5 finish here is a very, very good way to start her title defence, and you can see the smile on her face as she runs up and around. Solid points to start the summer from the girl from Kurrawa there, and This is where it'll start to get a little bit more interesting. They'll start fighting it out for points because you have to kick off your summer in the best possible way, and we wait for the rest of the field, and they're all hugging there out the back. A nice little wave from our back markers there as they work their way in. It looks like Danielle McKenzie will cruise her way in. A couple of cutbacks and some real nice surfing for her. She will finish in 6th place overall. Courtney Hancock in 7th. Gemma Smith finishes in 8th overall. But Maddie Dunn, what a way to do it against the odds. And she was a little bit more tired than the rest, but still managed to be unstoppable and win round 1 of the Nutri-Grain Ironwoman series. Georgia Miller gets the silver. Harriet Brown gets the bronze. What a way to start the summer.
Right, here we are on the finish line of the Kellogg's Nutri-Grain round 1. Maddie Dunn, what a race format and what a race win.
Oh, that format, it can either go one way or the other. I mean, I knew I was fit enough to make it to the 3rd one. It was just luck, and if you had the speed and endurance at the same time, but lucky I had the endurance, not so much the speed, but yeah, it was good.
You know, you've always been in and around the performance as well, but you did the hard way today. Obviously, you had to go through the 3 races. It can be taxing, but what I loved in that last race, in particular on that last leg, jumping behind Harriet heading out to try and conserve, was that a race tactic?
Yep, definitely a race tactic. I mean, Harriet is the best board paddler, even in the world, so I thought, conserve your energy. If it's a run at the beach, save your legs, and it worked, which was good.
It fits with the motto of Kellogg's being unstoppable. What a performance. What does this mean for you to have your breakthrough win in the Kellogg's Nutri-Grain On-Woman race?
Oh, it means a lot. Last year I had a shocker. I mean, I didn't do too well. I didn't re-qualify in the top 6, so I thought, I've got nothing to lose. Just get out there and give it all you've got, and it worked.
Yes, it did work. Maddie Dunn, top step of the podium and hugs all round for her Northcliffe teammates. And she seems very, very happy with that one. What a way to kick off the summer for Maddie Dunn. Wearing pink as well. Had to do it the hard way. Qualify through the trials, race all 3 rounds of the Eliminator, and still managed to come out on top of a maximum 100 points. And the Northcliffe girls will be very happy with that. 5 in the top 7. And a lot from the Gold Coast as well. Gemma Smith, of course, from Umina in New South Wales, gets 55 points for 8th place. Mercer and Wellborn finish inside the top 10. And for a couple of these girls, this might be a throwaway score there. Lana Rogers, Hannah Scully, Tian Raymond, Emma Dick, Maddie Spencer, Massey and Carly Nerthen will still be kicking herself